Hi guys, happy Sunday. I'm going to talk to you about EVFM, which I've spoken about previously, so you can go back and watch those videos if you'd like. And also, I recently added a position in ENDP Friday right before market close. So this is, well, actually, I mean like after hours on Friday. No, it was after market close. I apologize. Want to be completely transparent. This is why I think that these two tickers are going to rocket soon. And let me be perfectly clear. I hold a position in both of these in my long-term account and have for well over a year. They are both in my Roth IRA. However, with the Roe versus Wade decision, I added a swing trade to EVFM in another account. And I additionally, like I just stated on Friday after market close, added a position for a swing in ENDP as well. And guys, in my long-term account, both of these tickers have taken a massive beating. But I don't care because I am in them for the long run. Like I'm looking at a 5 to 10 year time frame on them. And I really think that they're going to be quite successful. However, I think that with the Roe versus Wade decision in the short term, they are also potential candidates for massive swings to the upside, guys. And these have both been beaten down so hard with huge short interest for these tiny names. And if you guys have been paying attention, I'm sure you have noticed that Biopharm is coming back into a rotation, just as I expected it would. And guys, for the last 5 years, I would say Biopharm's been beat down hard. So it is time for it to rotate, and I think you're going to notice that a lot of these tickers that have been hurting extremely badly are now moving to the upside. I did a video last week, the end of the week, discussing 5 Biopharm tickers that I think you should consider investing in. I highly suggest everybody watches that because I believe I either made that Thursday night or early Friday morning, guys. I had to take my daughter to the airport at 3:30 a.m. So I had nothing to do between then and market open. So that may have been when I actually started that video. I know it was in between both. But anyways, the 5 tickers that I mentioned in that video, 4 out of the 5 were up. And one of them was up over 13%, almost 14% on the day. And the other ones were up pretty good amounts too, between 1.5 and 7.2, 4.05, 1.09, and 13 and 5/8. So they all did pretty well. And the one that was down actually is one of my favorites, but I just think it's just the way the chart's going. It needed a cool off day. It was only down 1.32%. So that one was edit, but I suggest that you guys watch that video because I'm not kidding when I tell you that Biopharm is coming back and it's coming back strong. But in this video today, I'm focusing on these 2 tickers. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe and let's get into it. Okay, guys, so it's no secret that EVFM and ENDP have come to light because of the recent Roe versus Wade decision and the fact that they have taken away a woman's right to abortion at the federal level and made it a state decision. So with that came fears that they're going to also put restrictions on birth control in the future. Although that was not included in the decision on Roe versus Wade, it is a fear that some are having, which is creating an opportunity in these 2 tickers because EVFM, which is EVOFEM, makes a non-hormonal gel that's used about an hour before a woman has intercourse that prevents pregnancy by controlling the pH in the vagina in order to make it so that the sperm are unable to be mobile, guys. So it's called Phexxi is the name of the drug, and the reason that I got into this a while back, if you watched my first video, you know this already, but I'll repeat it for those who haven't, is because a lot of women have issues with the hormones that are in birth control, and they can cause serious problems from depression to like literally just crying for no apparent reason, which is my daughter 100%. That poor child had to be put on birth control pills for her acne. And let me tell you, I think she almost thought, well, she did almost think about dealing with the severe acne she had, because it made her a mess. Like, she was just crying all the time. And I thought about Phexxi for her for the future when she's on birth control for other things, because of, you know, it not having the hormone in it. And I did talk to her about that, now that she's in college and stuff. But, you know, she's still concerned about the acne issues and such. So, but, you know, I think that for so many women, there's a problem with birth control pills and what the hormones do to them. They cause weight gain. They cause just like mood swings like you wouldn't believe, and other things too, guys. That's just strange. Like, it's not natural to be taking hormones when you don't necessarily need them. And obviously there's a point to it, and those hormones, you know, prevent the pregnancy. However, now that EVFM has come up with a contraceptive that is hormone free, I think that that's going to be an alternative that many women switch to. Now, there was an issue previously with EVFM not being offered through many insurance companies. So like a lot of them wouldn't cover it. However, just recently, as of like a week or two ago, there was notice that a big PBS is taking them on to their insurance, and women won't need to have, you know, like those pre-ops or whatever, not pre-ops, the pre-authorizations. Sorry, that's the word I'm looking for. God, as a nurse, I should know these things off the top of my head, but the pre-auths. So, you know, when you're prescribed a new medication, a lot of them have restrictions with insurance companies that they have to be on their formulary, and they need to get a prior auth if they are not. So by this large company that hasn't been disclosed yet wants to make EVFM more available to its subscribers, and what they're doing is plans to add it to their formulary so that women will not need to go through a prior auth issue, because not only are prior auths a pain in the butt for the patient, but they're the pain in the butt for the doctor. So a lot of them won't prescribe those medications because they don't want to have to deal with the paperwork. So guys, this is going to be a huge bonus for shareholders, because with more people being able to access Phexxi, the price is going to go up. Okay. But again, the short term, there's two ways to look at this, and I'm in this for both. Okay. I'm in it, like I said, for the short term swing play, but I've also had both of these drugs in my long-term portfolio for a very long time, because I think that they have a huge opportunity, and I don't think that women's health care is getting enough attention and recognition, and their needs. It's kind of, you know, probably maybe not getting noticed by the bigwigs on Wall Street, but perhaps this Roe versus Wade decision will bring a lot of attention to it. So there's a quote that I wanted to read to you. It says, "When women are denied safe, legal abortion, the importance of access to FDA-approved contraception is greater than it has ever been." And that is by the EVFM CEO, Sandra Pelletier. So, guys, over the past year alone, EVFM has declined 92.5%. That is absolutely insane, and there is huge potential to the upside. And in my previous video, I got into all the gap fills and things like that. So this one, I am going to give you the Ortex data and that sort of thing, but I'm really going to focus on the pros and also the one warning that I see for each of these that you guys need to be aware of. So stay for the whole video so you hear that as well, because you need to know both sides of it. And when I look at investments, I always give both sides. Now let's go to Endo for 1 minute. Okay, guys, ENDP is Endo International, and they are a specialty pharmaceutical company that sells generic and brand name pharmaceuticals, both in the US and internationally. Its branded pharmaceuticals include prescription medications, Xyloflex, which is used to treat adult patients with Dupuytren's contracture, Supprelin LA, which is used to treat precocious puberty in children, Nascobal, which is a nasal spray for people with vitamin B12 deficiency, Aved, which treats hypogonadism, KWO, which is an injectable treatment for moderate to severe cellulite in the buttocks of women. One that everybody, I'm sure, knows if they've ever had surgery or severe pain, Percocet, which is used to treat moderate to moderately severe pain. Testopol, which is an implantable pellet indicated for TRT and conditions associated with a deficiency or absence of endogenous testosterone. Edex, which is used for erectile dysfunction. Lidoderm, which is a topical patch that's used for pain relief. And guys, they also have products for the pain management and urology. But in addition to that, what makes them a key candidate for this Roe versus Wade decision is that Endo's subsidiary, Paladin Labs, has a group of brands, including Plan B, that's been acquired by Endo and licensed for use as an emergency birth control, which is often referred to as the morning after pill. So guys, this decision with Roe versus Wade and the fear that many women have about possibly not being able to get access to contraceptions or to the morning after pill especially, may create a surge in price and volume for the sale of that morning after pill. Think about that. Anyways, so obviously ENDP surged initially, but guys, then it's dropped. And there's a few reasons for that, some of which we really need to take a look at. One of the ones that is less important in my eyes, because they do have a huge drug line, so I'm not as concerned about it, is they didn't get the best of reviews with their shoulder surgery drug. Let's see. Okay, guys. So, like I said, it was the Endo phase 2 study for frozen shoulder disappoints. Now, it's very interesting because if you want to Google it, I won't bore you guys all with it because, like I said, this is not the most important factor of my concern right here, because I'm basically talking about the birth control effects of this drug. But Endo provides top-line results from phase 2 study of CCH in participants with adhesive capsulitis of the shoulder, right? Endo frozen shoulder treatment fails in mid-stage study, shares down. Endo International reports top-line results from phase 2 study of CCH for adhesive capsulitis of shoulder. Endo posts disappointing data from frozen shoulder trial. Guys, the news is like completely opposite from one article to the next. It's just so funny to look at. It depends on who you're looking at and what they say. It's nuts. So anyways, that's a whole different, video that I do not care to do. But you guys can look that up if that interests you. What I am most concerned about, and that I'm sure that anybody investing in ENDP is seeing, is the fact that there have been talks of bankruptcy. And in fact, I'm going to pull up the group that did Okay, guys. So on June 28th, Endo stock surged about 99%, something like that, right? And people were all saying that it was related to the Plan B, the correlation that they had with Evofirm skyrocketing the day previously, and then they said ENDP was like the sympathy play because they had the Plan B, right? Well, guys, that really wasn't the case, and not a lot of people know this, but I'm going to tell you what the case was. On June 27th, it was released that Endo's unsecured note holders announced formation of a group in communication with company. So guys, Endo's in some financial trouble. Okay, let's not sugarcoat this. And there's the talks of bankruptcy. However, a group, because Endo is like 86% institutional owned, okay? They got together and made recommendations and showed the company why they do not need to file for bankruptcy. And you can read this article on your own, but it was very bullish. And in addition to stressing that a near-term bankruptcy filing is not necessary, the group also emphasized to the company and board that such a path could destroy significant value for stakeholders. In this regard, the group sees little prospect of Endo filing for bankruptcy in the coming months, with a framework for a confirmable plan. Indeed, in the group's opinion, a plan cannot be confirmed if it does not provide material recovery to the unsecured notes in light of, among other factors, the likely existence of meaningful unencumbered value, the structural seniority of the unsecured notes, and the overall value of the enterprise. With a plan likely to be out of reach in the near term, the group thus fears that bankruptcy, which is often expensive and time-consuming, will be particularly destructive for Endo. As a result, the group urged Endo and the board to pursue a different, more constructive path. As part of this effort, it retained White & Case LLP and GLC Advisors and Company as legal and financial advisor, respectively. Okay, guys, so this group formed to help come up with a plan. Now, there's speculation because Endo did not make a couple of its payments. Okay, so the issue was that they chose not to make a $30 million interest payment and put out an SEC filing when they have $1.4 billion in cash on hand. Now, guys, why would they do that? There's speculation, and if you think about it, as far as this group goes, that perhaps they are getting bought out. I don't know. It's a rumor, something to think about in the back of your mind. But the company is seriously undervalued at its current price of 60 cents. It's almost a joke at this point. So guys, something to think about, that rumors fly, so it could go either way, but I am giving you information on what's out there. It's up to you to make a decision either way. But let's get into, just so you guys know too, on Friday, what made me buy ENDP additional shares for a swing trade was because BlackRock disclosed in a filing that they now own 7.9%. So that's huge, guys. And something tells me there's more to the story, like what I just talked about. So let's get into the short interest and other things that are very interesting. Okay, we're going to start with the short interest on EVFM. This is the Ortex report. Guys, they have 27.84% short interest with a cost to borrow of 346.47%. And guys, this is really weird, but it's across the board. There's no minimum, there's no maximum. They're all the same thing. If you want to borrow EVFM, you're going to pay 346.47% interest. And it's on the threshold list, guys. So bingo, that's a good sign for us for next week. Let's look at ENDP, and then we're going to go into some more. A 18.87% short interest. 20.71% of their free float is out on loan, and they currently have 8.54% cost to borrow, which is a 569% increase over the 1.28% it was a few days ago. So it's starting to go up, guys. The utilization is only 34.52%. So we need to see some buying pressure come in order for this to start, potentially becoming a short squeeze. At this time, it's not even on my mind for that at this moment. I mean, it does have huge short interest, but we just need the utilization to be over 100% before, you really start to see those kinds of runs. Now, let's look at Okay, on ENDP, the short volume as of Friday was 52%, guys, which was an increase of 1% over the day before. So that's a pretty high short volume. And in EVFM, the short volume was 56% on Friday, which was an increase of 3% over the prior day. So guys, that's something to keep an eye on, because our short volume tells us that it's still getting shorted, guys. And in both of these, it was over 50%. Now we're going to look at the institutional ownership for both companies. EVFM has an institutional ownership of 1.98 million shares, which is comprised of 78 different institutions, guys. And it's 5.31% institutional ownership. It has a rating, an analyst rating of outperform. So that's good news. And then it also has a price target, guys, which is much, much higher to where it's at right now. The lowest price target is $2. The average is $16, and the high is $45. Again, this is for EVFM. So, guys, if we're trading at $1, there's a long way up, like I said, to go from here, in my opinion. Now let's look at ENDPs. 1 second. Okay, guys, for ENDP, the institutional ownership is 237 institutions for a total of 194.82 million shares, which is 82.86 institutional ownership. And currently it has a hold rating with a price target, guys, of a low of $1, a medium of $1.33, and a high of $2. Again, the potential here is still very large, and if it were to go to the average, you would double your investment, because it's currently trading, guys, at only around 60 cents. So the upside, again, is significant in this stock, and I certainly think it's worth the potential. And like I said, if there is rumors of it being bought out, and they say someone always knows, so perhaps that's why BlackRock loaded the boat in this. You never know, guys. All right, let's see what else. Filed 8Ks regarding their price, and like I told you, they've been severely beat down, both of them. And you guys can look at the charts yourself. I'm not gonna bore you with all that, because that's something you can pull up on your own. However, I do want to talk to you about the risk associated with these 8K filings, because as of July 1st, Endo did report that it received notice from NASDAQ that this notice had no immediate effect on the company's listing. However, they do need to trade above $1 for 10 consecutive days prior to December 28th, 2022 in order to regain compliance with the NASDAQ. Now, they're given a 180-day grace period, so December 28th, like I said, is the day that they have to have met this by. So you better believe they're going to try pretty darn hard to get that up, because they don't want to have to look at a reverse split, which brings me into the situation with EVFM. Oh, so guys, before I do that, this is no immediate threat. So there's going to be a lot of naysayers and FUD spreading out there about this risk, because people like to instill fear, especially if they don't know what they're talking about, or if they're purposely trying to create investors to sell, because they maybe want to buy your shares up real cheap. So what better way to do that than to create FUD? I call this psychological warfare, and I plan to be doing a video on that because it's important that investors know the psychology that goes into trades and what institutions do to try to get you to sell. But that's for another day. Right now, let's go and look at EVFM. A 2022 EVFM received a notice from the NASDAQ stating that they were permitted to continue to list on the NASDAQ through August 22nd, 2023. The NASDAQ is requiring that they suggest that the stockholders do get approval for a reverse stock split. Guys, so they're going to request that shareholders do a reverse stock split if they cannot hold above $1 for 10 trading days out of the next 20 before August 22nd. And so far, we have traded 4 out of the last 10 days. 4 consecutive days. We were doing better, but there was one day we dipped to 91 cents. And guys, let me be certain that shorts may try to bring this down and create a reverse stock split, as it's a benefit to them to have to cover for less money. However, I do not think that is going to happen. But you may see news out there, and this is why I'm showing you this, that, oh God, EVFM is going to do a reverse stock split, guys. You'd better sell because you're going to lose all your money. Well, no. Technically, a reverse stock split does not change anything as regards to the price. However, generally when we do see a reverse stock split, we see that shorts try to bring the price down further so that they can cover cheaper, and then the company ends up running. So that's worst case scenario, is that they would have to do this to comply with NASDAQ's listing requirements. Now, guys, I'm thinking since we have 4 out of 10 trading days behind us, we need 6 more in a row in order for us to meet this requirement and not have to worry about a reverse stock split. Now, they can do this like literally the day before that August 20, was it August 22nd? August 3rd? I think August, hold on. June 22nd, the company must file a preliminary proxy statement to obtain shareholder approval for a reverse stock split. The reverse split. The proxy statement to obtain shareholder approval for the reverse split by August 3rd, the company must hold a special meeting of shareholders to obtain approval for the reverse split. August 9th would be the effective date if they do not meet the ruling in compliance with the share price prior to August 22nd, guys. Now, if they maintain compliance prior to August 22nd, they do not have to do a reverse stock split. So just a heads up on that, because I'm sure that it's being talked about and that you've heard rumors of this. In fact, I think I may have seen something, anything else recently on that, but this is just a warning, guys, because it could come out. So that's the filing. I've given it to you ahead of time, so you don't have to be worried about it. You know what stands, and we do have 4 out of the 10 days so far. So let's see if we can get 5 more this week, then the 1 more on the following Monday, and we'll be all set. Now let's go to some positive for EVFM. They received a new patent for their contraceptive gel, guys. So they patented it. That means that they're the only company. It gives them the sole rights to make, market, and sell the composition of matter that comprises Phexxi. So nobody can make the same drug. So they can't be, right now, a generic representation of that unless they pay Phexxi for that use, because they've now have a patent. So they own the rights, guys, which is great news for the company. And I believe that we're going to see the price of EVFM just start ripping soon. There's a ton of gap fills to the upside. There's a gap fill also to ENDP, just so that you're aware. If you go back and look at my EVFM video, I already discussed it, so I don't want to go any further into it. Okay, guys, this is going to be the end, but this is the ENDP's chart, and I just pulled this up. Someone had it on Twitter, but as you can see, there's a gap fill here from a little bit about 150-ish, 151 probably, to around $2, maybe slightly under. I'd have to pull it up myself to see the exact numbers, guys, but that's a huge gap. I mean, that's 50 cents, and we're trading all the way down at 60 cents. I definitely see this starting to go up higher in the next few days, especially where they need to also regain NASDAQ compliance. So, guys, an exciting week ahead for EVFM and ENDP, and definitely consider not just a swing trade, but maybe keeping a small amount of this in your long-term portfolio. It's worth a thought. Again, not financial advice. I've told you the risks and potential upside in both of these tickers, and it's up to you to decide what's best for your portfolio, because again, you are the one who decides to buy and you're the one who decides when to sell. So have a great rest of your weekend, everyone. Take care.